In this video, we got episode number 1 of the Start Bench Cut video series. If you guys don't know what this is, I know Ty and Splash and Isaac have done videos on these before. Basically, on Twitter, you guys will let me know in the replies down below 3 different players, and I'll tell you guys who I would start, who I would bench, and then who I would cut. So for example, probably the best way to explain it is the first one from Bad Boy is going to be Jordan, Dang, and Ricky. So for what I have to do is tell you guys who I would start, who I would bench, and then who I would cut off the team. So for example, let's just hop right into it. Michael Jordan, I would say, or sorry, let's start with the person I'm going to start. The person I would start is going to be Luol Deng, and then between Ricky and Jordan, I think it's a really close debate. It really depends, preference and what you need from your shooting guard. So for example, Jordan's going to give you some really good defense, and he's going to be one of the best on-ball defenders in the game. So if you're looking for a really good defender, I would say Michael Jordan, but if you're looking for more of an offensive shooting guard, then I would say Ricky Davis. But I'm gonna go Luol Deng starting. I'm gonna go bench Ricky Davis, and then I'm gonna say cut Michael Jordan. I do think it's really close though, and really depends, like I said, what you need, but I do think it's gonna be start Deng, bench Ricky, and then cut Jordan. So if you guys also want to let me know in the YouTube comment section down below, so comment down below 3 different players, and I'll tell you guys who I would start, who I would bench, and then who I would cut. Next one here coming in from Peyton. I think this is a pretty easy one for me. It's gonna be KP, Reem, D-Rob. I would start D-Rob, bench Reem, and then cut KP. I still think KP is a really good center. I just think those are the other 2 best centers in the game. Like the 2 best centers in my team right now, in my opinion, are D-Rob and Reem, and then KP is just gonna have to get cut. But I would start D-Rob, bench Reem, and then cut KP. Looking at the next one here from that dude, he says Opal Jordan, tis the season Kobe and Diang. So very similar to the first one. I mean, it's gonna be basically the same. I would start Kobe, or sorry, I don't know, Dang and Kobe is actually really close. I think I'm really leaning towards Kobe, so I'm going to say start Kobe, bench Dang, and then cut Jordan. Very close. I mean, all some of the best shooting guards in the game, but that's what I'd say for that one. And then from card check here, we got Penny, Magic, and Lonzo. I think another pretty simple one for me. I would definitely start Penny. He's definitely the best point guard in the game, but between Magic and Lonzo, it is a very close debate. I do want to quickly kind of compare the cards and see who I would take stats and badges wise. Now, I will say Lonzo definitely has a better jump shot and definitely has the better movement as well. But looking at the cards, stats and badges and kind of height and wingspan, Magic obviously going to be taller, has a bigger wingspan, and a better player model as well. So he definitely wins in that category. But then if we take a look at the stats, I mean, defensively, Lonzo's definitely a lot better on the perimeter, having a +4 perimeter, +8 steal, +5 lateral quickness. So I think defensively, Magic is 6'9" though. So I would say they're about the same on the defensive end. Just for me, I think what it really comes down to with Magic and Lonzo is it really comes down to the animations and what jump shot you prefer. Me, I like Lonzo's release a lot more, and then I do think Lonzo's movement is like 10 times better than Magic, because Magic always has a running problem where he never really runs properly in the game. So for me, I would say start Penny, bench Lonzo, and then cut Magic. But I think it really comes down to preference, and if you guys like using Magic, then you could definitely start Penny, bench Magic, and then cut Lonzo. Talking about the next one here, AD, Giannis, and Timmy sent in from RFK. I mean, this one's another really close one, like really close. I would have to say start Giannis. I do think he's the best power forward in the game, but other than that, other than Giannis, AD and Timmy is a very close debate. I think if we're talking at the power forward spot, I think I'm going to have to give it to Anthony Davis. I do think Tim Duncan's a better overall card, because I do think Timmy D is the better center than AD, but for the power forward spot, he's going to be a better offensive power forward than Tim Duncan. He just gives you a lot more on the offensive end, still a great defender as well, where Tim Duncan, I feel like, is just really good on the defensive side of things, but really isn't going to be the best offensively. I'm not really the biggest fan of Timmy D's jump shot. They're both the same kind of player model wise and height and wingspan, so that's very similar. Tim Duncan's going to have 5 more Hall of Fame badges, which makes a tiny bit of difference. Stats wise though, I will say Tim Duncan a ton better on the defensive end, but AD gets some really good animations, and I also think this +25 ball handle and +3 speed with ball makes a massive difference for the power forward spot, especially for taking people off the dribble. That AD ball handle is going to be really nice to have, especially the fact that AD has the MJ dribble style and the normal leaner as well. So for me, I think at the power forward position, AD is just a little bit better than Tim Duncan. So for this 3 players, I would say start Giannis, bench AD, and then cut Timmy. Luol Deng, Ricky Davis, Kobe. Did we already do that one? We did basically, so there's a lot of similar ones. I'll just keep doing some similar ones. So Luol, Ricky, Kobe. I'm just going to quickly go through this one. I would say Kobe start, bench Luol, and then cut Ricky. Once again, all very good shooting guards. It really depends what you need. I mean, out of the 3 players, Ricky Davis is definitely the best offensive shooting guard, but overall, I would start Kobe, bench Dang, and then cut Ricky Davis. This is a troll one. Gold, Jermichael Green, Emerald, Draymond, and gold, Harrison Barnes. not even gonna respond to that one. Shea, Lonzo, Wall. I think this one's not really close for me. I'm gonna start Shea. I think he's the second best point guard in the game, one of the best offensive point guards. I mean, Lonzo and Wall actually is a lot closer than maybe I'm thinking. I do think it's Lonzo by a decent amount, just because I think overall he just gives you so much more on the defensive end, and he's gonna be not about the same rim runner, because Wall's definitely a better rim runner, but I do believe that Lonzo is the better point guard. So I would say it's gonna be in order: start Shea, bench Lonzo, and then cut Wall. Rudy, Jonathan Isaac, and James Worthy at the small forward spot. I'm assuming that's the position you're talking about. That's actually a very close debate. Yeah, that's actually really close. I would honestly say start Worthy, bench Rudy Gay, and then cut Jonathan Isaac. But if you do need more defense, then I'd probably go Isaac. Because if we take a look at Isaac, comparing him to a guy like Rudy Gay, because I think you definitely start Worthy. I mean, he's a trophy case card. He has some amazing animations, and he pretty much dunks on everybody and has a great jump shot. So I'm definitely starting James Worthy. But between Rudy Gay and Jonathan Isaac's going to be a little bit taller, wingspan about the same, 7'3" to compared to 7'2". Stats wise, Rudy Gay definitely going to be better on the offensive end, plus 10 driving dunk, plus 2 3 ball, plus 3 speed, plus 3 acceleration, plus 10 vertical, which is really nice. And but defensively though, that's where Jonathan Isaac becomes a lot better. He has a plus 13 block, plus 9 steal, plus 2 lateral quickness. They actually Rudy Gay actually has a higher perimeter, so I would lean towards Rudy Gay because he also does have a better jump shot. But if you're looking for the better all-around defender small forward, then I would say Jonathan Isaac. But for this one, I would say start Worthy, bench Rudy Gay, and then cut Jonathan Isaac. Penny, Magic, Lonzo. This one, did I already do this one? I think I already did that, right? Penny, Magic, Lonzo. Yeah, okay, so I already did that. Once again, it's start Penny, bench Lonzo, and then cut Magic. Scotty, Worthy, and Bam. Are you saying at the power forward position? I guess he's saying at power forward, right? Because this is Scottie Pippen, James Worthy, and Bam. So at power forward, I mean, this one's pretty obvious. Start Bam, bench Worthy, and then cut Scottie Pippen. There's no way you should be running Scottie Pippen at the power forward position, because I'm pretty sure he has, what, like a 50 block? Like, there's just no need to have him at power forward. Small forward, Scottie Pippen's still definitely decent, but he's only 6'8". He has, what, a 65 block? So yeah, definitely don't run this card at the power forward spot. He's definitely only good for small forward. And then between Worthy and Bam, I think Bam's just a decent amount better than a guy like James Worthy, especially at the power forward position. Maybe as a card you could say Worthy's better, but at power forward, I think definitely start Bam, bench Worthy, and then cut Scottie Pippen. This one is a lot closer. Bam, AD, and Tim Duncan. Once again, I'm going to start, if we're talking about the power forward position, I'm going to start AD, bench Tim Duncan, and then cut Bam. I think Bam is still a really good power forward. He's just going up against two of the best power forwards in the game, Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan, so it's really hard for Bam to compete. But yeah, like I said, I would start AD, bench Tim Duncan, and then cut Bam. Next one, we're finally talking about some more point guards. League Simple Steph, Pink Diamond Lonzo, and Pink Diamond Magic. This one's actually really tricky for me, because Steph is just so different than Lonzo and Magic. Like, absolutely, like, completely different play styles. Like, not even similar. Like, Lonzo and Magic definitely have very similar play styles, but a guy like Curry is completely different, because he's going to be mainly offensive focused and one of the best 300s in the game. Now, I will say, if you do know how to use Steph Curry, he potentially could be the best point guard in the game if you know how to 300 with him, if you know a jump shot really well, and just how to create space with Curry. I definitely think he could be the best point guard. And for me, though, I'm not the greatest 300. I like my point guards to have more defense and be better rim runners. So I think for me, I would say probably Pink Diamond Lonzo. Start Lonzo. I think he's probably the third or fourth best point guard. I would say bench Magic and then cut Steph. But like I'm saying, if you're good with Steph, you know how to use him, and you're good 300 with him, then he most likely could start and then bench Lonzo and cut Magic. But for me, like I said, I'm gonna go start Lonzo, bench Magic, and then cut Steph. Giannis, AD, Banchero. I'm assuming he's talking about the power forward position, because obviously AD can't play small forward. So for power forward, I do think this one's very straightforward. Giannis starting, AD bench, and then Banchero is going to be cut, because I think he's actually a better small forward than he is power forward. I don't think he has that great of strength, or sorry, he has good strength, but his defensive stats really aren't the greatest for, playing the power forward position. 86 interior defense, 80 block, definitely going to be low, and he doesn't come with anchor, so he can't play really power forward. If you do want to run this card, you definitely got to run him at small forward. So I think this one for me is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be start Giannis. I mean, AD and Giannis, I guess, is a debate and definitely close, but I like Giannis more at the power forward position. So I would say start Giannis, bench AD, and then cut Banchero. Looking at the next one, this one's actually really interesting. Harrison Barnes, Carmelo Anthony, and Thurl Bailey. I do unfortunately think it's going to be Thurl Bailey getting cut for small forward. If he was talking about power forward, then I would say Thurl Bailey probably starting. but Carmelo and Harrison Barnes is actually a really good debate, and I do actually want to pull it up here and kind of compare the cards, because this Pink Diamond Harrison Barnes, if you guys don't know, is an elite small forward, one of the most underrated and most slept on cards in the game right now, because nobody's really talking about how good he really is. So kind of comparing the two cards, 6'8" to 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan and a 6'11" wingspan. So basically the same player model wise. Obviously got to give Harrison Barnes the Evo. Stats wise, I think Carmelo is definitely going to be a lot better, at least offensively. You know, +5 3 ball isn't really too much. I will say, you know, maybe like the +8 ball handle, +6 speed with ball does make a little bit of a difference, but Harrison Barnes definitely going to be the better rim runner, having a 95 driving dunk, a +10 to Carmelo's 85. But I do think animations wise, this is where stuff gets really close, because if you look at the animations, they both have their jump shot quick timing, and they both have great releases. They both have the MJ dribble style. Carmelo does have the normal leaner compared to Harrison Barnes having Harrison Barnes leaner. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like in game, so I think this is a really close debate. Badges wise, it looks like Carmelo is definitely has a little bit more badges, but Harrison Barnes does have Hall of Fame clamps compared to Silver clamps, Hall of Fame off-ball pass. Definitely makes a little bit of a difference, but then Carmelo's got, you know, Hall of Fame, you know, killer combos, hyperdrive, handles for days, which makes a difference. So I would say most likely I'm going to give it to Carmelo Anthony, but very slightly, and it's a lot closer than most people would think. So I would say start Carmelo, bench Harrison Barnes, and then cut Thurl Bailey. I'm just going to do a couple more, guys. I'm going to try to find some more ones that we maybe haven't talked about just quickly to do a couple more. Ricky, Luol, Kobe, we've probably done that one. Curry, Shea, Penny. I would say Penny, cut Shea, or sorry, start Penny, bench Shea, and then cut Curry. But like I was talking about Curry earlier, if you know how to use him, you could definitely start. This is the last one I want to do here. I think it was actually sent in twice, right? I think it was the same, right? Basically the same. I do want to do this one because we haven't talked about Shaq. So like I said, this will be the last one of the video. If you guys want to comment down below on the YouTube video what players you do want to see me do start, bench, cut for, or like I said, follow me on Twitter, @EvanTanaka, and you guys can send it underneath my tweet when I do ask for teams the next time, or ask for players the next time. You can obviously do that on Twitter as well. So Kareem, D-Rob, and Shaq, I do think it's a lot closer than people would say. It's kind of like Curry in the sense that if you know how to use Curry and you know how to use Shaq, they could be the best at their position. So for me though, in my play style, I would say start D-Rob, bench Kareem, and then cut Shaq. But like I was saying, if you know how to use inside bigs and you're good with centers that can't shoot, then I think Shaq could potentially be the best center in the game. In my opinion, even if you're good with inside bigs, I still think D-Rob is a little bit better, but this Shaq card is super nice on the offensive end, and he's a great all-around defender as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you guys like these type of videos, to start, bench, cut ones, and let me know if you guys want to see more of them in the future. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.